it is as much a cultural struggle as it is a military struggle.
I told them what time to be here, how many soldiers to be here. Nobody shows.
The feature-length version was for people who really wanted to think hard about Afghanistan. It was people who really wanted to know about the country, the people in the country's history, and what it's like to be there.
Human Terrain is all about being able to win an unwinnable war through enlistment of academics and other people, from my ranks. So I think it's a film that was made for my colleagues who are being recruited in this war. It's made for the American military, who's been asked to fight a war you can't win. And ultimately, I think it's really for just a general audience that really hasn't been paying attention that much to Afghanistan and now are being forced to by the fact that it's not going well.
It took me a long time to get people to talk to me as human beings. I mean, the media and the suspicion of the media and the soldiers is just ridiculous. It's, to my point, it's ridiculous. But I can see their perspective.
I practice, and I think Carol and anybody who has a conscience practice a kind of self-censorship that you don't like to hurt people. You respect the integrity of your informant, to use the anthropological term. The only time self-censorship is, I was dealing with a sensitive issue. Michael Udris and David Udris, the co-directors, and I had this discussion, is how much do we show of Michael's life, without becoming too sentimental about it? Because then it sort of takes away from the overall critique, because you begin to identify too much with the central character. That was probably the biggest issue for us. It's not a film like Carol's, which is admirable to, you go over, you live it. And it was more about, for us, our milieu, our environment was really the university. It's about whether academics should be involved.
It's all, out now, more troops, out now, more troops, out now, more troops, and nothing moves. So if I get people who are sort of right-wing but sensible, and I get people who are left-wing but not, like 9/11 was an inside job, they start to talk, they take it seriously, and they ask questions, and a conversation begins. And that, to me, is really important. The other people I've shown it to have been soldiers who are about to deploy in this training mission. And I think it helps them a lot, because they see an example of how humility is really the most useful tool. And if there's anything that American soldiers, any soldiers, are not trained in, it is humility.
The best laid plans, the most ethically intentioned strategies, the idea of a kinder, gentler war, lowering lethality through cultural understanding, you're still dealing with the fact you're being perceived as an occupier.
It's not like if we all left, peace would then reign. No. It would be massive civil war, which Al-Qaeda would use in order to come back in again. Thomas Jefferson, one of our founding fathers, had a great saying about slavery, of which he owned many. He said, it's like having a wolf by the ears. It's not a good situation, but you really don't want to let go.